how are you future-proofing our next generation to
See,
think
we are
differently?
today, first of all, in the defense sector, we are working on at least, I would say, 50 new products. A lot for the Army, a lot for the Navy, some for the Indian Air Force.
There's a criticism of industry, especially the private industry, where they say that you're not, putting enough money into R&D.
Exactly. But
Is that a valid
it's a
concern?
valid criticism. It's a very valid criticism. There are very few companies like us who spend money on R&D.
How much do you spend on R&D?
Oh, I have 500 engineers. You're talking about the guns. For 10 years, I must have spent 1,000 crores developing guns.
And you spend your own money,
Yeah.
1,000
Yeah.
crores. So that's
Nobody gave me this money.
And the rest of the industry, you're saying, isn't doing this.
Nobody takes that kind of risk. Today, even the big guys, they wait for the order, then they go to some guy in Europe to get a technology license, and then they want to make that product to that guy's license. That's why they can't export anything.
You took that leap of faith. You bought that gun line. You set up the.
I bought the gun
production
line before I knew how to make what was a gun.
Right. What are the kind of changes that you would like to see now, given the fact that you
I think at a policy level, to be very honest, I think the government has done what it needs to do. Okay, now it's the job of the industry to deliver. We need to deliver high-class products. We need to deliver, latest technology. We need to convince the system that we can make it happen. And when I say we, it's all industry put together.
How important are orders? And you think that mindset has changed now?
Of course, it has changed. It
2
has
decades
changed very
later.
dramatically, and not only it has changed, I think it will change even more dramatically for one simple reason: that technology is moving at a speed which is amazingly fast today. Okay, and nobody else unless you are in that business and you got the capability in terms of talent and people who understand this, you can't catch up with this technology. It's just not possible. It's not a game of traders anymore.
It's not a game of traders anymore.
No. In the old days, anybody and everybody wanted to make into defense.
Right.
Right from aircrafts to guns to everything else.
But now you think that technology, the entry of technology has now raised the entry level?
Absolutely.
It's only
there will be still a few more years where you will have this little mix going on. But at the end of the day, if I look at ourselves in 2030,
right.
I think, or look at India in 2030, I think India in 2030 will be a country that has almost all the technologies that are required for its defense programs, including its ability to make its own jet engines, if they just do it properly.
Right. And that's an area that you're looking at, entry?
We are not looking at it because right now it is done by GTRE in Bangalore. But I have always proposed to the government, to the MOD, that you should put in a consortium of 4 or 5 companies who have the understanding, capability, engineering, design, materials knowledge, metallurgy, and convert it to a national program to make jet engines. If you do that, in 5 years we can make jet engines.
So where is the problem then, Ms. Kalyani, about, how do you sensitize people to focus more on products? And you've been a pioneer of product-focused approach.
It will happen.
How do you become a product nation?
Yeah, it will happen for one simple reason. Today, if you look at our planet, there are at least 30 hotspots where wars are going on. Okay? 10 years ago, there were hardly 1 or 2 hotspots where wars were going on, largely in the Middle East. Now, there are at least 30 hotspots. I mean, there are 4 or 5 places in Africa where wars are going on. You have this whole Russia-Ukraine problem that's for the last 3 years happening. Wasn't there 10 years ago.
Right.
So, life was very different 10 years ago. Life is very different now. Even if you pay any amount of money, you can't get product from anybody else. Okay? So, you'll soon realize, and if India ever gets pulled into a prolonged war with any one of its neighbors, we had it. because you can't make products fast enough to deal with the war. That's the time you will need to make 10,000 drones a month,
Right.
okay, or 20,000 drones a month. You need to make a lot of artillery guns.
And we still haven't ordered guns in the numbers that we had planned.
Well, now they've ordered. They've ordered now 306 ATACs.
Right.
There's now a tender for some 400 odd mounted gun systems. Now it's beginning to roll because they need 4,500 guns to be replaced with their minimization plan on the guns
in the next couple of decades. But this product-focused approach, is it a function of conflict? I want to take you to the book that we both read and love, which is Freedom's Forge. How the American military-industrial complex was literally birthed by the automobile guys and the shipbuilding sector, private sector. Will it take a war for us to realize this? Like, your journey began during the Kargil war, but that was more a personal journey.
Yeah.
When will we get an all-of-nation approach?
I honestly don't know. I hope not, because wars are not easy for countries. I hope not. But I think we are inevitably going to get pulled into this in the coming years. Because that's the way you see things happening around the world today. In the old days, you would get America coming to help. I mean, look at 1971, a good example. US came to push us back.
They sent the 7th Fleet
from Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Then the Russians, submarines were there in the Bay of Bengal, and they made sure the US 7th Fleet doesn't come. And Indira Gandhi was bold enough to make that decision. And Sam Manekshaw was an amazing general that was able to implement that decision and get 93,000 Pakistani soldiers as prisoners of war.
Right.
It has never happened anywhere in history. Only time, right?
Such a large surrender after the Second World War.
Imagine if the surrender had not happened and there was a battle going on with Mukti Bahini on one side, Indian Army on the other side, and this 93,000 Pakistan Army in the middle.
Right.
It would have been a massacre.
Right. Are we going, like you mentioned, this age of instability, unpredictability, conflict, and
tremendous.
That is the reason that you need Atmanirbhar Bharat is the only way forward.
One of the big problems, the big worries that I see is America has changed its foreign policy completely. Its new doctrine of national security, that NSS, that has come out a month ago. If you read that doctrine carefully, they are very clear. They want to dominate the Western Hemisphere. That means they want to take over Brazil, take over Mexico, take over Cuba, take over Canada, take over Alaska.
The new Monroe Doctrine.
The Donroe
Doctrine.
And they say that Europe is going to be inconsequential because of the kind of immigration that Europe has widely gone into. And therefore, Europe will lose its eminence, which is, we are already seeing. Europe is really losing its eminence. This whole system is falling apart. Whether it's Germany, whether it's France, whether it's UK, everywhere it's falling apart. Only place where it's still surviving is a little bit of Eastern Europe. Because they're still disciplined, they're still, work hard.
What are the lessons for India in particular? While the world seems to be at war or in varying degrees of stress and conflict, what should India do in the next couple of years?
See, India has one advantage, that A, we are a young nation. Our demographics are going to remain young for the next 30 years. And we are going to pump out a lot of talent. Now, with the whole advent of AI, digital technologies and everything else, whether we like it or not, kids will learn all this. Like, everybody learns smartphone. Even a street vendor knows how to use a smartphone. He may not know much technology in that, but he knows how to use it. And that's all you need. AI, you don't need to learn how to write an algorithm. You just need to learn how to use those AI, whatever, agents or whatever will come out of that.
So how is Bharat Forge using AI? How are you future-proofing our next generation to
See,
think
we are
differently?
today, first of all, in the defense sector, we are working on at least, I would say, 50 new products. A lot for the Army, a lot for the Navy, some for the Indian Air Force, but 50 new product areas. So we are building the light tank, we are building an FICV tracked, an FICV wheeled, we are building our own turrets. The biggest weakness that India has in any of this vehicle program, combat vehicle program, is ability to make your own turret. They only depend on this company in Belgium, John Cockrell, to get turrets. Whereas we have made our own turret. We have made the 30mm turret that was fired at 550 rounds per minute, beautifully. We are now making the 105 turret for our light. So we are creating a turret technology all on our own.
Why is the turret such a big deal? Because one would think that it's such a simple thing to build.
No, it's very sophisticated. The ammunition handling system is very complex. In a very compact space,
Right.
you have to handle 550 rounds a minute of this 30mm shell, which is about that big, that much in diameter. Not easy, believe me. It's not easy at all. And do it automated. It's not even manual. It's quite complicated. Similarly with 105 on the light tank, of course there we use carousels, 2 carousels to handle the ammunition handling system. But those shells are heavy. 105 shell will be what, 30-40 kilograms?
So that's why that explains your foray into the turret. So you want to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the weak point for India's combat vehicle systems. We don't know how to make turrets, even today.
How about the power plant? Isn't that
power
the
plant?
pack
See, as far as the power plant is concerned, we have missed the bus long time ago. Because all the power plant companies are either Americans or Germans. But we are now pushing. We are using a Cummins power plant in these kind of vehicles, but their engine is made here in Fulton. I supply half the components that go into that engine. Like the crankshaft, connecting rod, and all those things. Similarly, we have, for our light tank, we are going to use a Caterpillar engine.
Okay.
And Caterpillar is going to make that engine in Chennai, in their plant. Actually, they already started making. Similarly, the transmission. For the tank, we are using a Renk US transmission, not Renk German. The Renk Germany is giving a hard time for our Arjun and all those, very difficult time.
Supply chain issues.
Yeah, so we went to Renk USA. It's a different company altogether, and their entire senior management came here. We explained to them, so they have set up now a plant in Chennai to make transmissions. So the good thing is, although it's owned by Americans, but it's going to be made here in India.
So that's the phase 1 of your modernization. The next phase will be when we completely indigenize the
No, this is all indigenous anyway. Everything that we are making in all the products is all 100% Indian. There's nothing that is imported in that. I mean, the light tank is amphibious, so even the amphibious jets we are making ourselves. The axles we are making ourselves. The engine is coming from a company that makes it in India. The transmission comes from a company that makes it in India. We design everything ourselves.
So, coming to the close quarter battle carbine order, Mr. Kalyani, it's one of the largest small arms orders, not just in India, in the world.
Not such a big order, but
it's
value-wise, but quantity-wise,
Yeah. So, is this part of Bharat Forge's plan to dominate the entire land system?
Our strategy, more than land system, our strategy is a product-oriented strategy.
Right.
What we have decided is making artillery guns. We need to make artillery guns that are exportable to every country in the world.
Right.
You're making small arms. Now, we need to become the best in small arms. It will take 10 years to get there, probably. Best in small arms, so that we become the manufacturing source for a lot of companies that are currently making this in Europe and elsewhere.
Right.
We are already beginning to get feelers from large European companies who are in the small arms business to say, can you make the product for us? So I think what is going to happen is, there is a lot of labor shortage in Europe today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of manpower shortage in Europe. There's a lot of skill shortage in Europe. I mean, one of the agenda of Chancellor Merz is also to get Indian skilled manpower.
Right.
That is his official agenda. So because of this shortage, they are not able to increase their production. And now US has forced Europe to take their defense production up to 5% of GDP.
Right.
So they almost have to double or triple their output. Now they don't have the people to make this happen. Yeah. Willy-nilly they will come to us.
Right.
To India.
How will this be a win-win for India? I mean,
Oh, it'll be fantastic because you will become a net arms exporter in the system. You just need to create, I mean, today they don't believe that you can make things because you've been importing things for 60, 70 years. They don't believe you can make things. But this will change. It's like the automotive components,
Right.
When I first went to Daimler and said, I want to supply you crankshaft, he threw me out of his office.
Which year was that?
That was 95.
Right.
By 2000, I had 100% of their business. Okay.
When did
And
you
I still have it.
in 5 years, you had the last
Yeah,
laugh
yeah.
in the automobile sector, which is fairly easy when compared to the defense business.
Yeah.
When will India have the last laugh in the defense business?
I think it's 27, 28, 29, something like that. It'll
That's
be
not
very
very-
soon. Because by all indications, you're going to have World War III around that time.
By the end of this decade.
Yes.
That's a very serious prediction
Yeah,
that
I
you're
mean,
making.
I don't want to make that prediction in your system, but
Right.
that's my belief.
Right. That we're going to see
I mean,
global
you
conflict.
look at how Trump is behaving.
Right.
He's there for next 3 years. Okay, this is his first year. Now he wants to take over Alaska by either goodwill or by force.
Greenland.
Yeah, Greenland. Sorry, Greenland. By force, if required. Now, by force means NATO gets destroyed.
Right.
NATO gets destroyed, then what is Denmark going to do? They're going to go to European countries and say, now you guys stand behind me.
Right.
Now, Denmark doesn't have the power to go and fight the US forces. And neither does Europe have the power to fight the US forces. Very soon you will start seeing Russia needling Europe on some small country
So,
that is interested in.
so you're looking at the collapse of the rules-based order that was set up 80 years ago.
Exactly.
And the world is going back to instability. And that is where
It's going to
military
be,
becomes
it's
important.
going to be, might is right. Almost.
Right.
We are moving in that direction. So we have, as a country, we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
We need to increase our might. And for us, the ecosystem is fantastic. We have a standing army which is one of the largest in the world.
Right.
Well disciplined. Okay, we just need to provide all the hardware that they need. High quality hardware.
So the hardware is again a function of the product
Exactly.
oriented.
And we need to produce it in India. The same thing goes for the Navy. I mean, today we make ships. We say we make ships.
Yes.
We only make the hull. Nothing else is made in India, in the ship.
The engines are imported.
The engines are imported, the drive system is imported, the steering system is imported, the entire electronic and control systems inside the ship is all imported. We just took over the business of L3 Harris for
Frequency
IPMS.
hopping.
What is it called? IPMS? Yeah, Integrated Power Management System for the ships.
Right.
They actually gave it to us.
Right.
Okay. We have now a good relation with L3 Harris. L3 Harris is a very big defense contractor in the US.
And you also, Zoria Mash project.
Yes,
is,
we also worked with L3 Harris on software-defined radios, communication systems. So like that, one by one, we are, also creating an ecosystem and technology base to do many things.
Right.
We have now been approved for supplying the drive shaft for ships. This is some 50, 60 meter long shaft with a gearbox and a pitch control system at the other end and a big propeller at that end. So we're going to make that whole thing and then marry it with our turbine whenever we make our turbine.
So this is also an extension of what you're...
Exactly.
you've
So,
been
our
doing.
content in every component of India's armed forces, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, is going to keep increasing.
Right.
And the content is going to increase with a lot of automation, with a lot of electronics built into it,
Right.
a lot of digital technology that goes into it. And when you have digital technology, AI comes in inevitably, whether we like it or not.
Right.
So the decision-making metrics will all move to AI.
So is Bharat Forge then diversifying? You're primarily seen as a land forces manufacturer, from the 5.56 to 1.55.
We are now making the naval guns.
Right.
Every ship has two guns. One is a 30 millimeter gun and one is a 76 millimeter gun.
Right.
All these are imported. BHEL got an order some 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
And they still can't supply.
Right.
So now Navy has given us a POS to be a supplier.
Right. So that's big news. 2026, Bharat
We'll
Forge
make naval guns.
moves into naval guns.
We had the Navy chief here. I showed him everything.
Right.
He was excited when he saw what all we can do.
What's the challenge in a naval gun system, Mr. Kalyani? Is it the gyro stabilization, or what are the factors?
Naval gun requires stabilization because you need the gun to be stable and the ship is going like this, pitching all over the place. So you need a whole stabilization system. Number two, a naval gun fires at a much higher firing rate.
Right.
The 30 millimeter fires at 500, 600 rounds a minute. So its ammunition handling system is very, very complicated.
Right.
Very complicated. The 76 millimeter gun also fires at a pretty high rate. So that's also very complicated. And this is on the deck of a ship. Normally in the old days, the ammunition handling system is to be below the deck.
Right.
And that has its own safety hazards and dangers. Something goes wrong, you can have explosions. So the modern ships are all designed with compact ammunition handling systems above the deck. So we are designing that kind of a gun.
And this is for the naval guns, 76.
Every ship has one 30 millimeter, one 76 millimeter.
Right.
And every small boat, Coast Guard or something, has a 30 millimeter.
Right.
So they need something like, 100 odd such guns going in the future.
So traditionally we've been building the Italian guns, the Soviet origin 30 mm guns. So you see,
we were importing the Italian guns.
We were importing the Italian guns, assembling it in India. We're licensed manufacturing the Soviet AK-630s. So
correct.
You see Bharat Forge now replacing all of
we'll
these
replace all of that.
Right.
And Navy wants NATO standards, so we'll make NATO standard.
And how about exports? Now that's a very big area for this government.
See, the good thing is naval guns, only 3 companies in the world make it. Italian, BAE, and there's a US company. Only 3 guys do it in the world.
And of course the Russians.
The Russians, yes, but Russians are not in the global market. They accept in their own. So the space is limited.
Yeah.
The demand is very high because everybody is expanding Navy. Now with this new Trump doctrine, whoever controls the blue waters controls the shipping lanes, and that becomes far more important.
Right.
That's why India is buying now 6, 7 submarines.
Yes. So the government's thrust on exports, that make in India, make for the world, you've seen record numbers coming up, 5,000 crore orders plus. How is Bharat Forge positioned to handle this? You have a number of orders as well.
Yeah, we are exporting about, 2,000 crores today, roughly. That's our export. 2,000 crores per year. And this will go up, hopefully, much more.
These are products, these are platforms, these are components?
No, we export guns, we export ammunition. Right. We are the largest producer of ammunition in the world today.
The 155
ammunition, yeah. We now make 500,000 shells per year. All for export.
And you're going to ramp up this production?
I think 500,000 is enough. We don't need to do more than that.
And how are you going to take it forward in the next couple of years?
What we are doing is, we make empty shells today. So they go to Europe into filling plants in Europe. We are setting up our own explosive facility in Andhra. So we will fill the shells ourselves. That increases value addition quite dramatically.
So Bharat Forge is also going to make explosives now.
Yeah. We're going to make propellants, explosives. So once we start making propellants, we are simultaneously start working on how to make rocket-based artillery, which requires propellants to do that. Our guys are working on long-range artillery. Am I right? A shell that can go 100 kilometers.
Right. But overall, beyond just the ammunition and artillery, what are your projections for exports, in product exports?
UAVs, these larger UAVs, mail, hail. This is whatever is dominated by these large companies, 3-4 companies in the world. This will all come to India in the next 5-7 years.
Right. So, coming back to my earlier question about orders, Mr. Kalyani, like you took that leap of faith even before you knew how to make guns, and then you finally waited more than a decade to get the orders. Do you sense that reluctance to place large orders? You're talking of penny packet orders for UAVs, 50, 60, 100.
No, but that's because we haven't seen a war. The day we see a war, all this will change. This whole mindset will change. And that day is not very far. It's going to happen sooner than you think. If Trump can go and invade Venezuela, pick up its president and his wife, and bring him back to the US in 2 hours, okay, nothing stops China from doing something similar in our neighborhood or somewhere else. God alone knows.
What are the kind of changes that you would like to see now, given the fact that you
I think at a policy level, to be very honest, I think the government has done what it needs to do. Okay, now it's the job of the industry to deliver. We need to deliver high-class products. We need to deliver, latest technology. We need to convince the system that we can make it happen. And when I say we, it's all industry put together.
There's a criticism of industry, especially the private industry, where they say that you're not, putting enough money into R&D.
Yeah, exactly. But
is that a valid concern?
It's a valid criticism. It's a very valid criticism. There are very few companies like us who spend money on R&D.
How much do you spend on R&D?
Oh, I have 500 engineers. You're talking about the guns. For 10 years, I must have spent 1,000 crores developing guns. Each gun to develop cost you about 30-40 crores. We have developed about 10 different platforms. 12.
You've developed 12 different platforms?
Yeah. You will see them when you go to the shop.
Oh. And you spent your own money?
Yeah.
1,000 crores. So that's...
Nobody gave me this money.
And the rest of the industry, you're saying, isn't doing this?
Nobody takes that kind of risk. Today, even the big guys, they wait for the order, then they go to some guy in Europe to get a technology license, and then they want to make that product to that guy's license. That's why they can't export anything.
Right. Because he's...
See, unless you own the IP, you can't export.
Right. And how critical is that IP and product for us to be, truly Atmanirbhar?
It's very critical. Unless you own... You see, what is the definition of Atmanirbhar? India must own its own IP.
Yeah.
If you don't own your intellectual property, it's not just a piece of paper that tells you that you own this or you don't own this. It's an ecosystem that develops the capability in your people, the talent that is required in your people to do many, many advanced things going in the future. Like a little bit like our space program, okay?
Right.
Unfortunately, they failed today, second time.
What are the steps that you're taking here at Bharat Forge to prepare us for that future of technology?
See, we have close to 500 people in our R&D setup, engineers, working on 5-6 different verticals. One is our artillery vertical that guy heads, Jitendra. He's got his own people who do all the software, the pressure curve systems, the ballistics, ability to design and develop and predict what is going to happen when you actually go to fire a gun.
And this is entirely...
Yeah, it's all done here, in-house.
That sounds like a fascinating system.
This guy used to work in our force shop
Right.
in maintenance.
Right. Wow.
So we developed here a program for our engineers to get a master's degree from IIT. We developed our own talent doing all these things. We have also a program, 3-year program from Birla Institute, Kalyani,
Right.
to get a BS degree in engineering.
Is this the Kalyani Center for Manufacturing Innovation?
Yeah.
And that is the key to your
Because without
growth.
You have to have talent.
Right.
And if you give knowledge to people who are already working on the shop floor, people who understand machines, people who understand forging technology, people who understand materials technology, it's just amazing what it produces.
So how are you using AI to design your products, Mr. Kalyani?
You know, when you do a product design,
Right.
the entire engineering, then it goes into a CAD/CAM process. It just takes a very long time.
Right.
I mean, just to give you an example, if I'm developing an FICV or a tank or an artillery gun, just to do a design and get to a stage where you say your design is okay, you've gone through all the checks and we can now get into the prototype manufacturing phase, it takes 2.5, 3 years.
Right.
Using digital and AI technology, basically, AR, VR technologies,
Right.
you can cut this time down to 6 months.
Right.
So the moment you have your CAD file, you can create a 3D image of a product. And the moment you have a 3D image of a product, you can blow that 3D image. Whatever is missing can be added in hours into that.
Fascinating, like a video game.
Yes, like
You have it right here.
Yeah, exactly like a video game. It's exactly like a video game. You can add.
Right.
You can call your customers. You call the people from the artillery side of the army. Show them what you're making, and tell them, do you need anything else? Do you need any more, seating in there or any more systems in there?
Right.
So all this happens extremely fast.
That sounds fascinating. Can we take a look at this?
So
AR,
we will go
VR?
and have a look.